Healing begins where heart runs the deepest. Let's talk about childhood trauma. Childhood trauma affects every human being that has gone through this kind of trauma at their lowest age. The same childhood trauma affects us in our jobs, in our employment, in our marriages, in our relationships, everywhere. And sometimes it's at a later stage that we identify these challenges of child trauma. At some point, it is too late or it can't be cured because we never put a focus on it. Together with me is Angela Nakasaga, a coach and an inner child trauma coach. She's going to let us know exactly what she does, and she's going to take us through that important aspect in our lives. You're most welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure having you, and I feel very, very humbled hosting you here on such a great topic of childhood trauma. As Angela, what is childhood trauma and how does it affect us in our lives? Meanwhile, you can introduce yourself and we get to know you more, and then we dive into our topic.
Yeah, my name is Angela Nakasaga, an inner child healing coach and a mental health trainer, also a nurse by profession. I'm so humbled to be here on this podcast and looking forward to sharing more about childhood trauma. Now, childhood trauma are the experiences we go through as children, what we witness, what we are told, what we see our parents do. Everything affects how we see life, how we show up as adults later in life. Whatever happens from the age of 0 to 18, what we see, what we witness in school, at home, in our environments, all these experiences shape how we show up as adults. Yeah. It also shapes how we show up in relationships, at workplaces, because these experiences affect the way we see ourselves. Yeah. What we call the self-esteem. Now we learn to shrink just to see others shine. We learn to keep quiet or not to speak of whatever we are feeling just because we were never told that it is okay to speak up. Yeah. We were never given a chance to express our emotions. And so we learn this as children, and then when we grow up, we still exercise this. When we are going through things, through stress, depression, anxiety, we find it difficult to open up. Yeah. Because this is what we know. We are familiar with withdrawing, going into our rooms, hiding and crying from there, because we are not allowed to cry. We are not allowed to laugh even when we feel like. We are not allowed to feel excited. Like if anything excites us, we'll be shut down and be like, no, that is too much. You're not allowed to shout for us. You go do this and that. So everything that happens in childhood affects how we show up as adults. And in relationships, it is even worse because we do not believe in our self-worth. So at some point, we it's like the other person is doing us a favor to love us. Because if my own father, my own auntie, okay, my biological parents, if they never loved me, of course, I do not expect love from anyone else.